Flyover State of Film was shot in front of a live studio audience.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to the latest, the greatest Flyover State of Film. Oh, your boys are all here. Me, other ones that are less important. Guys, how you doing? What's up?
Dude, I'm super important, man.
Nothing but the ceiling.
Oh, man. You know, the ladies in my office, so, like, we have, like, an inter-office thing we use, and, like, there's GIFs on it, and when boomer women use GIFs, it makes me want to dive out a fucking window.
What's their most gift gift?
Well, I mean, a lot of it's stuff like a pickle with sunglasses. I'm kind of a big dill type thing. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of it's that type of shit. So
Dude,
it's pretty rough. I'm not gonna lie.
My team also uses Teams, and
Yeah,
they
Teams is what we use too.
And from time to time, I'll put on a GIF, but I time them perfectly. And all of them are like, how do you find those GIFs? They're so good.
It's just that I'm funny and smart, and you're bad at this. You're terrible.
Like sometimes people just forget Google exists.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys do it all the time when you just want to put simple PNGs on other images and letters. So I don't know who's talking here. Hey Joe, can you put letters on this quick thing? And I make it on the Instagram filter app.
I was gonna say, hey, to be fair, I've only ever made one meme, and I did it on the meme maker. Okay.
I'm just kidding. But sometimes when it's simple text over an image, I'll just go to like Snapchat and be like, boners.
I always ask for photos of me and photos of other stuff. I always ask for intricate stuff.
But this week, which to you guys is 3 months from now, is back-to-back days. I got one from Jusef and I got one from TJ. Be like, hey man, if you're not busy, actually you have three, right?
I was gonna say, I hit him up for a specialty project also.
Yeah, Brian's project.
Go I actually my Twitter profile picture is fucking awesome. It was Joe.
You know what? I'll say this much: I enjoy doing them for you all. And mostly, except for Brian's, they take like less than 2 minutes to do. So I find that we're on actual job.
How much you paying him for this one?
No, I tried to pay him.
Oh shit! Okay,
that's just cool. He's too good for my money. Ooh, look at me, Mr. Joe Biden stimulus rolling in it over here. You have to need my money.
Also, I'm gonna give you some credit. The way you roll them out, though, I'm just like, can you put this and this together? He's like, do you want this? I'm like, no, I don't want that. And then 3 seconds later, I get him like, oh, thanks, man, I appreciate it. Then I tell everybody, I did it.
Yeah. Look at this thing I came up with. I just designed this.
No, Brian had a really cool idea for a League of Their Own poster that was fun to make. Like I woke up being like thinking about it. Because I was
so if you're watching this and you want that poster, just pay Joe. Just send Joe some money and he'll send you the image. Then you can have a poster. There we go.
Nope,
that's how we'll make money.
Dope. When these start coming out, and whoever's watching this now, I'm sure you binged the last 5 episodes that dropped. I'm pretty sure this is 70.
Yes. Well, Boogie Nights was 69, so
yeah. So
probably
all
the best
I'm saying is,
covered on the show.
There's no if, but when we get to 100, I would love to have a really dope of all your thumbnails, like just a nice 100 thumbnails in one post.
My favorite is gonna be Brian. Just Because there's one thumbnail that is just Brian's.
It never went up, and it's just my face.
It's with the movie you just watched when you said the Fly Boys get out of quarantine.
Oh yeah, Cabin Boy.
Cabin
Boy.
Ever. And it's the worst thumbnail.
But Joe made one.
Yeah, there is a thumbnail
later
for that.
I just haven't added it onto it.
You can use the
I
one.
don't remember. There's ones that I think every member, including myself, is on the cover of at least one episode solely.
Best.
The TJ might have the best one of the past. I have Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, the Lord of the Rings one.
Jusef has the Sixth Sense, where we just used his face on. Brian.
No, that's probably why the algorithm just put me on Cabin Boy.
No,
they're like,
Brian,
he deserves his own spot too.
Brian has well, he's technically not alone, but he's the one that you can distinguish the most in the Manhunter one.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
But my favorite solo is Roadhouse that you have me with Winston. I'm like so holding good, Winston up.
Winston also has his own trailer reaction too.
Yeah, that's true.
He's
the fifth member.
So I'm going. This has nothing to do, just loosening topics, but it was sitting right next to me. So I'm going to a '90s party in a couple of weeks.
So why you're wearing a bucket hat?
That's why I'm wearing a bucket hat. I got a Bill Murray Space Jam jersey, which I thought was better than the.
Are you gonna dress like him with the backwards hat and shit?
How did you get here? I know the producer.
Well, I have. I'm going to wear a red undershirt because that's what he wears. No basketball shorts because I don't want to be cold. But a black hat that also duels as a Wayne's World hat.
Oh, there you go.
I'm going to
classic.
You don't want to be cold? How cold is New Jersey right now?
I don't know. I'm going to Pennsylvania. It's just in nighttime. I don't know, man. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, nighttime is still
Invincible!
Guys, can you see my trades? Do you see my trades over here?
Ooh.
Compendiums. I love Invincible. It's a great comic. Best comic I've read in the modern era.
I actually don't know what it is.
It starts off at a pretty straightforward superhero story. You got a young teenager he's the son of a world famous superhero. He's just getting his powers. And everything is set up in a kind of structure you would recognize. There's a superhero team that kind of feels like the Justice League. There's their world is something familiar, but then because it's its own thing, it spirals out pretty quickly, and you realize that we're in a much more kind of brutal and there's a lot more lasting consequences in this world than there are in your average comic.
Did you ever venture to Ex Machina?
No, I don't think I ever.
You should. It's he's a former superhero that turned mayor, and his past sins keep catching up to him. So it's
that's
interesting. Robot you want to have sex with?
I've never seen.
That's a good. I like that.
I want to preface. I've never seen this show, but is it like that show, The Boys?
The Boys.
Oh, you're talking about Invincible?
Yeah, Invincible, or like a Watchmen type.
Yeah, but not even not purposefully dark like that. You know what I mean? Where they kind of are going out of their way. This still feels like it's kind of, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's lighter than that, even though it does have a lot of kind of hyper violence and gore in it and stuff.
It sounds really interesting.
It is. It's really good. But anyway, the Amazon, they've made a show on Amazon. The first 3 episodes have dropped, so you can check those out if you have Amazon. It's a great story. It's a complete run. He did 144 issues and stopped. It's Robert Kirkman, the guy who did Walking Dead. But they ended it, so it actually has a beginning and an ending, and it's.
Oh hell yeah!
There's not any loose hanging ends, or I mean, they give you a couple little teases, but there's nothing there's not any plans as far as I know right now to bring it back. It's a complete story, which is dope. I like that.
What's the animation style? Is it like an anime?
The animation style, no, it looks kind of like the DC animated movies.
Oh, so a little bit anime-ish, but not so much.
Yeah, and it's very similar to the art style of the comic book too. So if you are a reader of the comic and you've checked it and you've liked that,
gotta check that out. Speaking of the DC animations, not so much a superhero one, but recently I just watched. Prepping for the Mortal Kombat movie, DC started making a Mortal Kombat, not DC, but that same animation.
Warner Animation, yeah.
Warner Animation started making last year, I think, like early 2020. They have a movie called Scorpion's Revenge, which is an R-rated Mortal Kombat animated film, and it was I just watched it the other week. It was awesome. It was literally that first corny movie from the mid-90s, just taking all of the stuff over the years and actually making it good, and it's more based around Scorpion's like tragic backstory with the Lin Kuei, and then just like they're going for a tournament that's still there. Like, God, what's his fucking name? Joel McHale is like Luke Cage. I mean,
I like that. That's tight.
Not Luke
Johnny
Cage.
Cage.
Johnny Cage,
yeah.
And he's actually pretty funny. Yeah, he works perfectly as that voice, and like. Deb from Jennifer Carpenter from Dexter is so Blade, and then they probably cast all the other actors as like Asian and stuff.
I'm kind of excited for the movie. I'm kind of excited for the movie because they kind of hint that they are actually going to explore
his backstory.
That backstory.
I mean, it looks like you get to see Scorpion in the past and all that. That's
an actor too.
It's gonna
and Sub-Zero being an assassin.
Yeah, it's I can't wait. I'm so bummed they pushed it up a week. But by the time you
they need to give Godzilla Kong some room to breathe because it's going to be a bad motherfucker.
Yeah, that's tomorrow.
Did you read that? Did you read that review? Godzilla versus Kong is just a lizard and a monkey fighting. It's like, yeah.
I'd be pretty mad if it wasn't that, actually.
What the fuck were you expecting?
Yeah, it's two lizards fighting. Like a lot of the human shit out. Good.
Well, anyway, the mini topic we talked about doing, and we can just do some real quick recommendations here. We don't have to get into anything. Yeah, Joe hit it, and I think actually his pick even counts because of the Invincible show and animated. And even though I'm known to be anti-anime for some reason, because I grew up with like the Batman the Animated Series and then all the movies that kind of spun out of that, I do like superhero animation a lot. So I just wanted to hear what you guys thought. What are some of your favorite either shows or movies? Go ahead, Jusef. You already have your hand up. What a polite boy.
Batman Beyond, The Joker Returns, or The Return of the Joker.
Return of the Joker.
That's a good one.
Oh, it's
Terry
great.
Gilliam. Terry McGinnis?
Terry McGinnis, yeah.
McGinnis going up against his mentor's arch nemesis and fucking Mark Hamill returning to do his perfect Joker voice.
They got really dark with it too in that one. Like, that was bold of them to get as dark as they did with that one.
It's so good. It's so fucking good.
I thought you were gonna say Batman, the animated series Sub-Zero, which is not to the level of that show.
Yeah, one of their weaker entries there.
But no, that was a joke. That's a great pick. I mean, the obvious one is Mask of the Phantasm. I don't even think I was.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's the low-hanging fruit. You know, shut up, TJ.
TJ's the low-hanging fruit.
I will reach through the webcam to slap the taste out of your mouth.
Oh, you mean the low-hanging fruit?
Yeah, baby. It's good. I like that.
Actually, that's I
got my two faces up there.
Oh, these are amazing. I wish I bought the whole set.
All right, TJ, what did you pick?
Well, TJ, what do you like?
Ninja Turtles.
Guys, I mean, come on. That is the quintessential fucking 80s and the 90s cartoon.
Well, did you like the movie though? The quasi,
the one you got a Pizza Hut for free? Fuck yeah, dude.
I don't think that's what Jusef was talking about.
No, but what about the animated movie, like the TMNT? So you mean that one?
Yeah, the TMNT.
That was actually pretty good when they were all like separated. They weren't together anymore. That shit was pretty tight.
They did a recent animated one, like a crossover with Batman too, I think.
Yeah, well, they had that whole comic book series that came out probably like 2013, 14-ish, which is pretty good, where the dimensions got crossed and Batman was battling Shredder, and at some point Batman villains got involved with Shredder. It was you know what it was? It was kind of like a Last Action Heroes thing where like the bad guy gets the fucking thing, just starts going into movies and getting bad guys. So like Shredder's like, oh, you got mad good villains. Let me go get these guys.
Yeah, hook up on some of these badass villains.
Yeah, but like those are the type of comics where it's like a 12 to like 24 issue series, but you can just get the compendium at some point or the omnibus, and then you're saying like they have that new one that came out actually.
Yeah, Ronin.
Yeah, where I mean,
I'm
obviously,
dying to read that one. Actually.
Yeah, it's just one lone turtle left, and also they kind of hold back the secret. Sure. They haven't. I don't know if they've revealed which one it is or anything yet.
I stay away from.
No, I've stayed away from the spoilers. I haven't heard anything about it either.
Sure, like they gave it away like a month ago, but supposedly that's an amazing series because they go back to like the dark, like original style of because like the Batman Turtle one is pretty dark, but they go back to like the original, like Peter Laird, I think, is the guy who started it, like the dark, black and white type of stuff.
Yeah, I've been waiting because I like to, obviously my baby boy also likes to do the compendiums, but I have a bunch of compendiums thrown there, like The Last Man, and like The Walking Dead and all that shit. Because I just don't like buying I just get like frustrated when I finish such a small thing and then I'm like, give me more.
I tried to.
That one I'm definitely gonna buy.
Like it just every Wednesday, it's like it ends up being like 62 issues, and you're spending $5 on these on the first day. Yeah. Man, it does get a little pricey at times.
Oh, absolutely, it adds up.
You know what was a really good? I just had to make sure to check the name of it. You know, it was a really good show that I remember. Like I don't want to revisit it now, but the MTV Spider-Man animated series from like 2003. Yeah, it was.
I don't really remember that one.
It was like playing off of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, but like a little darker.
Spawn show though.
Yeah, the first episode they decapitated someone, and I was just like, "Oh shit, this shit!"
Yeah, it like ran for one season.
I think it's like 3D too. It was weird.
It wasn't. It was just literally called Spider-Man: The New Animated Series, and I remember being on MTV, and being like, "Yeah, Spider-Man," and then it being like, "Well, this is really adult."
That was yesterday, right?
Yes.
Obviously, we have to mention. You're not gonna mention them, but like the X-Men, Spider-Man, and the Batman animated series.
Yeah,
that goes without saying.
Yeah. Although some of those hold up better than others, I have to say that both the X-Men and the Spider-Man series, nostalgia's doing a little more work. Like Batman the animated series, legitimately is good, whereas like the X-Men and Spider-Man show, you're like, this is good because I like it, but it's not. But a couple that I wanted to mention for sure. Of all they've released a ton of Justice League animated movies over the years. Oh, yeah. Justice League Doom is a really good one.
So good.
That's a great one. And also the one Justice League Crisis on Two Earths. Yeah. It's where they do the the crime syndicate, so it's like basically an evil version of the Justice League. I guess Doom is kind of like that too. That's more the Legion of Doom though. So I like when they put a team together to go up against the Justice League. I like movies like that. The animated version of The Dark Knight Returns is incredible. It's so good. And you can get a fully edited 3-hour version that's like one movie. It's so good. It's really good.
And Year One was pretty solid too. I like.
Yeah, Year One is solid too. Absolutely. And then
Marvel did a couple disappointing.
Yeah, Marvel did a couple movies that weren't quite as good, but they did a show that came out right before the Avengers movie, I think. It was called Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Yeah,
they did 2 seasons. It was really good, and then they ended up dumping it to do an animated series that was closer to the movies, that like had more of like the vibe of the movies. But it's really great. Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Supposedly the anime version of Iron Man is amazing. I've never actually ventured there.
Like the TV show?
But I would imagine it will work since it's like that kind of like Gundam type.
Absolutely.
Like Joe was saying, MTV did a little a thing for a minute where they would do like anime versions of a couple shows. So they had like Wolverine X.
Yeah, I remember those.
Like an anime, like super violent, but also
they did a Blade one, I think.
A Blade one, yeah. That was what I was gonna say. Blade,
and they take some good risks with.
Yeah, and like even like Brian was saying, the Justice League movies, Justice League Dark has been on like a really strong roll. That Apocalypse War that just dropped maybe a year or 2 ago. Yeah. Everything fucking.
All right, guys, you're beating around the bush though. Who's excited for the gritty Powerpuff Girls reboot on the CW.
That's live action, though. We're talking animation, Joe.
Come on. And
what?
Yeah, I saw
Is that
today.
real?
Yeah, that's real.
Live action?
Yep.
Yeah, Donald Faison's going to be the dad. Who cares? I wrote out a couple of like draft tweets of how dumb it is, and I kept deleting them because I'm like, no one
even cared about it. Exactly. It's like I've written tweets like that too.
I
where you're
talk about this more.
Who even would interact with this?
Can we talk? I want to talk about this more. Can't Kiss come over this?
No, no, TJ, we're done talking about this. Let's move on to the first topic. What's the first topic today? Joe, who had the first topic? I think Joe had the first topic, right?
So recently, I don't know, I forget what magazine named Prince William. Some magazine that's clearly owned by the monarchy. Yeah, sexiest bald man, and that's just
take out the cap for this.
Honestly, I have two guys right here that would beat that man out in the top 100. So anyway, I just want to ask, who's not even the sexiest bald man, because we know who it is. Who's the best bald actor, or your favorite? So it doesn't have to be sexy, but
sexy.
Go sexy. You start us off.
I want to fuck all the people that are on my list.
Go.
Oh damn! You're definitely gonna have my guy on.
I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna
go. I was gonna say he's gonna take mine because mine's fuckable too.
No, nobody's gonna take this one. I'm gonna just say this one. I have a couple more, but Arnold Vosloo.
Yeah.
Me. Fuck yes. Oh my god.
When he's walking across the desert, he's got the robe open, just like bare chest out, like thighs out.
Can you repeat who this is? Because
we just get Mummy in the Brendan Fraser movie.
The
Mummy and the Brendan Fraser Mummy. Arnold Vosloo. He's also the henchman in Hard Target. Van Damme's Hard Target.
Vosloo. Arnold
Vosloo. Blood Diamond.
Yeah, Blood Diamond too. He's in Godzilla. No, he's not in Godzilla. I'm thinking.
You're thinking of Digimon Hansu. He's a bald guy also.
That's my pick. That guy is super fucking hot and always walking shirtless around. That he had like a lot of lipstick on for some fucking reason.
It was gloss, like gloss he had.
Yeah, a lot of gloss. Mummy.
I just watched it the other day when I was running my COVID fever.
Somehow, like even he's hotter than Sofia Boutella in her Mummy movie. It's weird, but it's true, and I find her very attractive.
But you all walk out of the theater going, that Brendan Fraser is just so goddamn charming.
Oh yeah, he's amazing. And also watch Encino Man Fly By with us. He's wonderful in that movie also. And as a kid, I couldn't reconcile that he and Billy Zane were two completely different people.
Yeah, that's my pick. Spoiler alert: Billy Zane's my pick.
Oh, go ahead. That's perfect segue.
Because and I'll tell you what too I appreciate about Billy Zane is that like at the height of his powers, he just like went for it. He's like, nope, I'm bald now. He was like in Tombstone and Titanic, and then he was just like one movie hair, next movie no hair, and I'm done. I'm just bald now.
Demon Knight.
Oh, he kills it in Demon Knight. He's so fucking good. But that was
man.
And I mean, you can say what you will. Did his career take a hit? Maybe it did. I don't know, but I appreciate how proud he was.
Didn't he use a wig? Didn't he use a wig in Titanic, right?
Yeah, exactly. I do think he was wearing a wig, but I like that he finally was just like, you know what? No, I'm not doing this. I'm not.
You think James Cameron?
You hire me, I'm bald.
You think James Cameron lets people make their own hair decisions?
No.
To be fair, Cal's hair is pretty epic. Like when he's like swipping it, he's got the middle part, and he's got to compete with Leo's middle part, which like the middle part,
huge middle part,
was very high. You know, I love how we just have two ends of the spectrum. We have a couple of longs, a couple of balds, nothing in the middle. You know, on this podcast, we're all or nothing around here.
I was nice and clean until the pandemic hit.
That's really greasy.
TJ, what ball did you want to fuck? I mean, do you like
TJ, this ain't greasy. I just took a shower.
Right, man, it's called volume, TJ. Okay.
Jesus. I don't know. Okay, you want to fuck volume, baby? Digimon Wanso. Joe said my pick already.
Yeah. It's true.
Definitely murdered his name. I'm sorry.
Another
but
Digimon Hansu.
Digimon.
Digimon Hansu.
Show Pokemon.
Pokemon Wansu. No, from Never Back Down to Blood Diamond to fucking Guardians of the Galaxy. This guy's been all over, done so many fucking things. At the same time, looks like a fucking stud every time.
You know what I think? I think his sexiest role is probably Constantine. Right? He pops up. He's like he's got the nice suit and everything in that when he's like a voodoo king or something. Yeah, that's a good one. Good job.
That's a good pick, but I think this man is absolutely gorgeous, and it's just a black and shining armor. Morris Chestnut. That man is a bald joy.
That's a classic. That's like a throwback.
Him and his turtlenecks, and honestly, he's always looked like he's been 45.
That's true.
So Morris Chestnut, like Mike, the best man.
Oh yeah.
Always in the hood.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah. Iconic for sure.
Honestly,
and I think we should give a shout out to Charlize Theron too, because a woman who can pull off a bald head, you have to be very feminine to pull that off.
Whoa, Denai Guerrera. Guerrera.
Damn,
Lupita Nyong'o in that one movie, very beautiful with the.
She do the bald head too.
Sasha Velour.
Which was
G.I. Jane.
The Vikander girl from Ex Machina.
The one that I was saving is the guy.
I think that was a bald cap, though.
Damn it! The guy that made me confident. I mean, I'll never be as beautiful as this man. Like, it won't ever happen. But when I started balding, I was like, you know what? I can do this. I don't give a fuck. I'm not gonna do implants or wigs or whatever the fuck. Jason Statham. Like, he is a fucking action hero, and he's always had that 5 o'clock shadow on his head and the balding. I was like, you know what? That's gonna be my look. I'm gonna be him. So fat version of him, but him.
You have a Mark Strong thing going for you.
Oh,
yeah.
I'll take that. I'll take Mark Strong.
Mark Strong's not bad. Mark Strong's not bad.
The other day before I shaved my beard, he called me Oscar Isaac, so I get him Max Strong.
Oscar Isaac's another bald
compliments.
You know who I wrote in my notes app before I told you Morris Chestnut popped in my head? Danny DeVito, a bald god.
Yeah, icon for sure. Been bald. I love it. Like I said, another guy fully embraced the horseshoe, like Jason Alexander. Just like, no, this is who I am.
Patrick Stewart, another one.
Yeah,
horseshoe god.
Yeah,
and I think the deity of all bald, he's really put bald at the forefront, even though it's TV, is Larry David. There's so many episodes Curb just based around him being a bald fuck. And I think he's really brought bald rights to the forefront. Guys, hashtag bald rights. We'll get that going. We'll bring it to the Q rallies.
There's a lot of things in the world that need our attention right now, but I think that's the top end. That's the most important one.
I need Brian's wife to retweet all the political things that I see, but about bald people in my timeline.
Oh, no.
And I'll like every one of them.
Damn right.
Before we move on, a man that had liposuction on his titties, but he decided not to do hair transplant. The Rock. He just shaved his head. He was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm done with surgeries. I'm just embracing my baldness.
His baldness has also been increased by the HGH.
I was gonna say no hair can live on his body anymore because
his head
natural, dude. All natural.
Have you seen about Steve Austin in The Condemned and what was that Salem movie he was in?
That's a great
yard.
Steve Austin was one of the first bald wrestlers I remember who didn't lose their hair in a hair match. He just was bald,
Yeah.
So bitch. He's just
blonde. He used to be so fucking blonde at WCW.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Stunning Steve, baby. Look it up. Look up Stunning Steve Austin.
Let's move on.
Electric chair match.
Look up the Ringmaster.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I remember Kane Kane's early guy before Kane is really embarrassing.
So many different.
Yeah.
So
he did a lot.
Oh,
well, Kane was
stunning.
fake Diesel too. He was fake Diesel.
Yeah, he was fake.
He was Isaac Yankem.
That's what. Ooh, stunning Steve Austin. Ooh.
Who was fake Undertaker? Did he actually ever take off, or was it that one done?
I think that was. It's a guy who was a kind of a journeyman, whose name I would probably recognize if I saw it, but I don't remember it off the top of my head.
All right,
same thing with the guy who played fake Razor Ramon. He was just a dude who was around a lot.
We're moving on. So,
Flyover State of Wrestling, a new podcast coming soon.
Yeah, we're taking over, Delisha. I don't know if you're listening still.
She definitely wouldn't watch this. She's too
she
classy.
Doesn't watch this shit.
She's way too classy for this show.
And we're bullies, so I don't.
That's true.
All right, so
just me.
Russell Crowe got casted for Thunder. Got Thor, Love and Thunder.
Thor, Love and Thunder. Yeah, absolutely.
Love and Thunder. Okay. So I asked the boys, I think every single fucking actor in Hollywood has already been in a fucking superhero movie.
Mm-hmm.
So what is
certainly seems that way.
Yeah. What is the lone actor that you really want to see as a superhero? And give me that superhero that you want him to play.
Can I make just a comment about Russell Crowe in that movie? I just imagine him being cast the same way when he was in that movie with Leo. What was it? Body of Lies.
Oh, when he got fat and he never.
When he's just fat and he just sat at a coffee table for the whole movie on his cell phone.
And he never fucking.
I don't know. I feel like I just saw a picture of him and Hemsworth, and he had a pretty epic beard. So probably playing some kind of Asgardian or something, right?
But I figure him at this coffee shop again, but just in Asgard, and be like, yeah, no, this is what we're doing. All right, get the files.
He was eating in that movie. So I'm gonna start it off. I'm gonna say my pick. I want to see Steve Buscemi, and I want him to play Deadpool. So Steve Buscemi as Deadpool is my fucking movie. I just want to see.
We're just recasting. We're just recasting very highly popular roles.
He had his shot. He did 2 movies. It was fine. It was okay. The first one was good. The second one sucked. So Steve Buscemi stalking straight to camera, saying fucking shit, and then not dying. Because
I think you could get Ryan Reynolds, at least who he perceives himself as, on board with what it wouldn't be funny if midway through the movie you just get recast as Steve Buscemi. I feel like he'd be like,
oh, that actually would be funny.
Yeah.
Well, Marvel would be like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marvel owns it now. They don't like it. They were not going to let him do anything that cool.
Have you guys seen that Winter Soldier thing?
No, not yet.
I tried to watch one
episode.
About
Captain. I watched the first episode. There's 2 out now. I haven't seen.
It's full on military. That they're not even hiding that it's military propaganda. It's fucking.
The bad guys are called the Flag Smashers. It's so stupid.
Stupid. It's very bad.
They wanted to do Flag Ripper, but then they knew that everybody would just post that meme from Kung Pao, the guy going, "Shirt Ripper!"
Is it a beat-up president in there?
Huh?
That's a good movie. We should do that movie in this podcast.
What movie?
Kung Pao, I watched it recently.
I watched it not too long ago. It holds up pretty good. The funniest thing is just thinking of what they did to make it, the real movie being sewn into it. That's what makes it so funny.
This episode has been just full tangents.
Guys,
yeah, we're getting off. We were really off topic.
So, just so you know,
that might speak to maybe we didn't come up with the best topics this week.
The actual movie though of Kung Pao, the one they did use, by the way, is on Prime.
The actual movie.
Yeah,
I think I've seen it before. Yeah,
we watched it right after Kung Pao.
So what are you picking, Joe? Since you're talking.
Yeah, I'm talkative this episode. I want to see John Cho in any capacity as the superhero. I thought he should have been Batman, but I think Reed Richards would work. He's a little bit older.
Oh, okay.
I think he would be a great Mr. Fantastic, but he's honestly someone I just want to see more of.
Yeah.
You should watch Columbus. John Cho kills it in that movie.
Oh, absolutely. Because I loved him, and he's a few years old now, but Searching.
What is that?
Columbus? I'm going to write that down. But that would be my pick. I mean, I don't even love the Fantastic Four, but I was looking at like characters, and I don't want him.
They're gonna do it, so you might as well pick something.
Yeah, but I don't want him to be like a guy like John Cho to be like, oh, here's an obscure hero that we're gonna get like 15 minutes of total in a movie, and like it's like, wasn't he great? Like an Internals type character that we'll never see.
What are the chances? You pick John Cho. That's a diversity pick in the eyes of mainstream media. Mm-hmm. What are the chances that they're gonna go full diversity across the board, or they're gonna go one race for the?
What if they did Michael B. Jordan as
Human Torch?
Human Torch. That'd be sick, right?
That would be sick, right?
That'd be great.
Watch that.
Then he has
reverse the adoption.
Sister.
Well, yeah,
like a white chick.
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense. It would you know what I mean? Bond them.
We didn't bring it up when we were talking about Invincible earlier.
You know who'd be good for Reed
Invincible,
Richards?
really good cast, guys.
J.K. Simmons, right? J.K. Simmons is.
I mean, all the roles are cast really well. Steven Yeun is the lead, and Sandra Oh plays his mom, and there's just like the cast is just packed out. And they did do something I did notice from the comics. They made a conscious effort to diversify a little bit. Comic is pretty white, most main characters white. But in the cartoon, they made a conscious effort to gender swap some roles, switch out, change the races of some characters, and kind of flesh that out a little more. Yeah. Jason Mantzoukas is playing a guy who in the comic is kind of like a red-haired dude, but because it's Jason Mantzoukas, they made him look a little more Jason Mantzoukas-y in the cartoon.
More Greeky.
Yeah, a little darker skinned,
More Greeky.
I want to answer Jusef's question though.
Are we still on my question? Whoa.
Yeah,
what was his question? God, who even remembers?
How do you think they're going to diversify these movies just in general?
Yeah.
And I actually think and I don't mean to be too I think they're going to do an overcorrection where they're going to make it too
feel like we've been doing the whole time though. I'm a minority. And I feel like everything has been an overcorrection, and it feels
like Endgame when all the women line up together. Yeah, it's it's like you guys are doing it the wrong way. You're trying too hard.
That's right. Just put out the cast of the Fantastic Four. Let's just say that, and it is John Cho, and you have whatever, whatever it is, more diversity. Or a Latina Sue Storm, and
a Jessica Alba type.
Like Jessica Alba, they did it.
Oh fuck!
Why did they slap the blonde wig on her ass?
Yeah, but you do that.
And the worst blue contact lenses I've ever seen in my life.
So they make her look. They make her look like the villains from Game of Thrones.
Anyway, so. TJ, what would yours be? Is yours a villain from Game of Thrones? Is yours a blonde Jessica Alba we're trying to make white?
I was going to say, we could bring Jessica Alba back into the MCU. I'd be into it.
Yeah, she's...
I mean, I don't know, man. Mine was more of a villain, not a superhero. The whole tights thing, I'm over. It's kind of like a villain they fucked up a couple times in a couple different movies, like Birds of Prey.
Black Mask?
No, Birds of Prey. They did it they kind of mentioned it in the original Dark Knight series by Christopher Nolan.
Zsasz?
Here and there. What's that?
Zsasz?
Yeah, Zsasz. Victor Zsasz. And I just want to take someone who kind of deserves to not be in sea-level horror.
You didn't like him in Birds of Prey?
It's that blonde dude who walks around.
I know, but you didn't like him in Birds of Prey?
No, I mean,
Birds of Prey.
I like that character, but he didn't feel like Zsasz. You know what I mean?
Fair.
You ever played that? We had to do the mini series of answering the pay phones, and it's Victor Zsasz telling you your bodies are, stuff like that. But I just think this actor deserves to get out of C-level movies and D-level horror movies and shit like that. But I would love to see Robert Englund play Victor Zsasz, an old version, new Matt Reeves Batman. I'm pretty sure he's in that somewhere. He might have already been casted. But I would like to see someone like that get in there and do some shit.
Will he have knives in his fingers?
No, but
he got all those.
I've seen him do something where
he was trying to scratch out some issues.
A shout out to Michelle Pfeiffer, where maybe puts a fingernail thing on, just kind of on his finger, on his hand, just kind of rakes himself. You know what I mean? Because he does. If anyone have read any comics, Victor Zsasz makes a mark on his body for every victim he's ever taken.
Where was he in when was he implied in the Nolan Batman movies?
He's one of like the
Inmates.
inmates in
okay.
when Bane like releases them, he's like Taz like these little small parts and like each
Gotcha.
of them.
Okay, you were just curious. That's a good. That's a.
I mean, he was
inspired
fine in
choice.
those, but like in other movies,
No,
it's just like the
that's an
Birds of Prey
inspired
thing
choice.
just has like a crush on Black Mask, which is tight, but it isn't really Victor Zsasz. It's it's a weird thing. But that was mine.
That's an inspired choice. Robert Engling's
Ryan.
a hard one because I'd rather Robert Engling because it's a fantasy pick, right? Like more like a few years younger because I feel like he's mostly retired and kind of just wants to show up to do half-assed cameos a lot.
It'd be small, it wouldn't be huge.
No offense to Robert Engling, but like he really just shows up for like a cameo in movies and they're fun, but they're in like
Get that paper.
Yeah,
Batman is coming out next year, right? It's not this year.
Yeah, I think it's next year.
Yeah, and they'll probably change
It's like
course
May.
again. WB is going to fire all their execs, and they're going to hire people to greenlight all that Schneider shit, and then we're just going to have...
That's not gonna happen.
I think it's over that bullshit.
Ryan, give me your pick so we can move on.
No, let's talk for 20 more minutes about this. My joke answer when you asked the question was John Lovitz, but then I started thinking, I was like, I actually would love John Lovitz, because like, you got Patton Oswalt doing the MODOK show.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that.
If you guys watch the Harley Quinn show, you had Jason Alexander as Cy Borgman, her landlord, who's like an old man cyborg. It's hilarious. So like he would be great, even if you just used him as a voice. John Lovitz would be perfect for some kind of villain like that. My boring, straightforward answer, and I actually thought of this before Joe shared the news with us that Jack Rayner is getting some kind of series spinoff from the creators of Westworld or something. But anyway, Jack Rayner,
the guy from Sing Street and like Midsommar?
Yeah, the guys from Sing Street and Midsommar, and the Transformers movie where he bangs the underage girl.
No, leave that out.
No, but he has a card. He has a card.
But I thought
I have one of those
great
too.
to play Booster Gold, who's a DC character who's kind of a little bit of a braggart and a fraud and kind of like,
Jack Rayner role.
Yeah, like a perfect Jack Rayner role. He's great at playing an asshole. He's great at he has a likable energy, but he's great at playing off of that and making you dislike him. So
when you say that and I think about it, I'm even like, I wouldn't mind seeing him as like an Oliver Queen. Everyone's like, Charlie Hunnam for Green Arrow. I'm over that shit.
But I don't want him to bulk up.
Yeah.
Like,
Oliver Queen doesn't have to be bulky. He could be maneuverable like he's a slimmer Batman.
He's an he's an actor I feel bad for because like his main exposure to us
because everybody saw his wee wee.
And no, Transformers, and we were like he stinks, and then he went on to do some really good roles in like Midsommar and Sing Street. Like he stole the movie in
He's like a better Chris Pratt. We should just replace Chris Pratt with Jack Rayner.
But Jusef doesn't want to see him get ripped, and
no. Come on, man.
We should talk about, since we're doing casting shit, can we talk about how we almost had Glenn Howerton as Star-Lord instead of Chris Pratt, and how awesome that could have been?
How sick
that would have been rad.
I would just be thinking of the Dennis system the whole time.
He uses the Dennis system on Gamora.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, think about it. Rob McElhenney.
McElhenney
is Jack. Charlie Day, which I could find this tweet if I can, I'll throw it up. But I originally, when they were casting Guardians of the Galaxy, I thought Charlie Day should have been Rocket Raccoon. So you do Glenn Howerton is Star-Lord, D is fucking Gamora. When Rob gets jacked after building mass over all those years, he's fucking Drax, and Charlie Day is Rocket Raccoon.
And
they should just do an Always Sunny episode.
Yeah, and Frank is Groot.
Yeah. Oh, boom.
Frank is
beautiful.
Guys,
that's it. Hey, end of topic. TJ nailed it. He finished it.
I think we just leave it at that. Just
TJ, tell us your topic while I go look for alcohol. I'm still listening though, so
okay, so I mean, I don't know if you guys heard the bad news or anything like that. Like, it's pretty sad to me. This character was an icon in my childhood. A big help in my development as a young man. But Lola Bunny is being desexualized, So I figured we could talk about
kind of giving her a dump. Not gonna lie.
She's had a dunk before that, man. I'm not going to get into that conversation with you because
But this is literally the point of this topic.
If we're going to talk, but I just want to talk about the hottest cartoon characters on film, maybe in TV. If you want to dive,
I'm into it. Like we are a bunch of creeps, so let's have a creep.
And this
combo.
is buried deep enough in the episode.
Fuck out. I'll start. Ready?
But people
Chip
like
and
Yip
Dale.
Man, they're gonna wait. They're gonna wade through this shit.
Yeah.
When
Chip
one of
and
us
Dale.
runs for office,
Chip and Dale, both of them.
Both of them. I mean, they have this very like Bert and Ernie relationship
they do
going
put
on.
nuts in their mouth.
The red nose and the buck teeth and everything. Come on.
Hurt.
One of
I
them.
thought we were taking this shit seriously.
Yeah.
Jane Lane from Daria. Come on. That's where we're at, okay?
Wait, is that the friend?
Yeah, that's Daria's friend.
The one with the black hair was like cut like
Yes.
shoulders.
Yeah.
She pretty.
She's like an art chick.
I
She's
really
into cool
have
shit.
taking this moment to walk away from my fucking mic. What the fuck just happened to the show?
We were going down a really steep hill.
I mean,
We're
like,
talking about
I don't
Bambi's mom.
I wrote.
I thought TJ was taking this shit seriously. He said Chip and Dale. I had to get us back on track and talk about actually hot cartoons.
Yes.
I wrote a paragraph.
I mean, Jessica Rabbit is like the obvious pick. Like, just go there.
Too obvious, though.
Too obvious.
Too obvious.
Lola Bunny was a boner magnet, and so was Jasmine and Ariel. I can't decide. Also, Fiona from Shrek Forever After, when she's a warrior ogre, can get it. That she fuck it, like, it's in the fourth one. She's like a warrior now. She's a long red hair.
How we get through an episode without Joe mentioning Shrek?
She's thick.
Keep going, man. Go ahead. Keep going.
So anyway, those are some of my cartoon ladies, and Marge Simpson. I mean, gotta stand Marge Simpson.
Joe, do you have the Marge Simpson Playboy?
No, I don't, but I should.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Lois Griffin, too, did some things for me. You know, those,
Hey,
those
man,
Fox
we
women.
made it to 70. That was pretty nice.
It's a pretty good. We had a good run.
What did you
We had a
expect
good
this
run.
topic would be? We'd be like, oh, yeah, so,
I want to hear what Jusef has to say.
so the chick
I
from
already
Heavy
said
Metal.
the obvious pick.
No, I want to hear. Come on, you got something buried deep in the recesses. Give us something. Give us a good one.
Come
The
on, man.
blonde chick from King of the Hill.
Oh yeah, Luann.
Ooh, yeah, the
That's
niece,
solid.
yeah.
Very
Murphy.
good.
That is a good
Brittany
one.
Murphy, R.I.P. to a real
Oh
one.
shit, that's right. She does the voice.
And One Eye Futurama.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
good call.
That's a
Good
great
call.
one. That's a good one. Man, this is tough now because I didn't think we were going to like cartoon, like Saturday morning cartoon stuff. So if we're going to go to like that,
you know,
type
it's
of,
all
like,
fair game now.
okay.
Yeah,
we're going to
we're
that.
already canceled, so we might as well just go in, right?
Okay,
Why,
yeah. I
'cause
mean,
they
while we're
called-
going all in, Rogue from the X-Men show.
Oh my god, 100%.
I mean,
Oh,
right?
yeah, with that southern
I mean,
accent.
like,
oh.
I mean, like,
Sugar, come on, Sugar.
the obvious answer there, if you're gonna go Rogue from the X-Men show, Chitara.
Yep,
Oh,
Chitara's up there too.
this dude does the
But don't
dinosaurs
skip over
count?
don't
That's
skip,
kinda
don't skip over
animated.
Gambit. Gambit was pretty fucking hot too. So
Gambit
was
kind
hot.
of like the parent.
Oh yeah, I mean, we talked about hot bald men, and you know, so any
Yeah,
you wanna throw some
Gambit.
animated dudes in the mix. I'm here for it.
Honestly, the dad bod Spider-Man from Into the Spider-Verse, handsome guy.
Oh, Goliath from Gargoyles up there, way up there.
Ooh, damn.
Let's talk
And
about.
Elisa,
let's
and
talk
honestly,
about
Elisa Maza too. I'd get a poly relationship with Goliath and Elisa Maza right now.
Oh,
Let's do it. Throuple. Let's
so
do this.
uncomfortable, and I love it. So,
Little Miss Piggy from Muppet Babies.
when Bugs
Right,
Bunny
got that.
wore the dress.
I should probably
Now
cut
we're
that.
back to
What
Lola
time
Bunny.
are we
That's
at?
what she looks like.
Yo, Lola
Sorry, yeah.
Bunny truly, I
57,
mean, like,
I'll probably cut
I
that
mean,
out,
like,
guys.
the pussification of America, you know? Oh, God, I'm taking boobs out of my
Canceled Lola
space
Bunny. They
jam.
canceled Dr. Seuss. It makes me sick.
I mean, this is the same people who decrease the size, digitally
So I
decrease
gotta-
the size
I
of
have
Lindsay
a new
Lohan's
podcast.
boobs.
It's
In
called Unprecedented. Once
Hey,
this one's
bitch,
canceled, please
shut
guys
your
go
mouth.
watch.
No, don't
Well,
plug it.
listen-
TJ, cut this out, dude. Don't let him plug his other podcast on
welcome
here.
to
That's horseshit.
welcome to Flyover of Hente.
Come on, let's talk about fucking Yip Man. Come on, man.
Oh yeah.
All right, that's fair. That's fair, guys.
Yeah.
So if you watched last week's show, first of all, thank you for watching. Secondly, you'll know that we played some terrible trivia, and I don't remember who won, but the pick ended up being 47 Ronin, which is a movie I still want to revisit. And me and Joe are going to get back to that. But we had a little hard time. We waited to the last minute. We weren't paying close enough attention, and it wasn't easily accessible. So we all flipped over because this bad boy is
legally accessible. Legally.
Yeah, legally accessible. We don't, buy the book around here. But there was one. It was on Netflix. It's an absolute stone cold classic. It's about a little over 10 years old now. I'm talking about Donnie Yen's Yip Man, based on the life of Yip Man, who was the trainer of Bruce Lee. It's heavily stylized, heavily glorified. I'm not 100% sure it's all true, but you know what? I don't care because it's got some of the best martial arts in of the last 20 years on film. And TJ, you were our only first time watch, right?
Yes.
Everybody else had seen it at least one time. And Joe only half watched it, so if he seems quiet, let's call him out, everybody. Tell him that he's a bullshit asshole for not watching when we actually do a good movie. He didn't bother. He didn't have time.
When we changed it with the day left, and
it was on Netflix. It's on Netflix. You hadn't watched 47 Ronin either. You had to watch something. You wouldn't have had time for that either.
That's true.
No, I have a no.
Fuck
Shut
you,
your mouth.
Joe.
Shut your mouth.
Fuck you, Joe.
A foreign subtitle film you need to sit down and actually fully give it your full attention.
No, you could
let
do
me
dubs.
stop you there.
The dubbed version is on Netflix.
The dubbed version was on Netflix?
You could just
Either
change
way,
the audio, right?
I was watching subtitles.
I watched it in subtitles because I'm
Very
a purist. But
no,
you
guys,
can switch to dubs.
Guys, it's
# subs not dubs.
It's easy. I had some personal stress going on that was unexpected, and I couldn't allocate the proper time.
Okay,
That's
Joe.
fine.
Let's talk about TJ.
Yeah.
Since you're for some reason I don't know, actually a good member of the podcast this week. What did you think about that first time viewing?
This has to be, and I want to thank Brian and Joe for not being able to find Ronan fast enough, so we did change the Yip Man, IP Man or Yip Man.
It's Yip Man.
I'm an IPA man, but he's an Yip Man.
Okay. This movie blew me the fuck away. I was never someone who was into The Matrix. You guys know I'm not a fan of with those it's basically if The Matrix did this type of
you like Drunken Master, right? When I
Drunken
recommended
Master's incredible. But then but before
Well,
that,
that's much
I
closer
never watched Hidden Dragon, Crouching Tiger.
Yeah, I couldn't get into it either.
Those type of movies where it's string kung fu. There's a little bit in this. It is noticeable.
Chow Yun Fat films.
But these hit when he does those flips where he knows he's using the weight mass and throwing it with the body. You kind of feel like you could maybe do that if you were a master of that type of shit. There are some extreme moments where you're okay, get that wouldn't happen. But this fucking movie, from story, the acting in it, from each character where Lee with his the whole traitor thing happened with him, to coming back, and his wife who has that whole moment with Mr. I don't know if it's the kid kept calling him uncle. Is that his brother, I guess, who's running the factory?
Yeah.
They don't really mention
it's I don't think it's his brother. They're business partners or something.
Yeah. So but I mean, the story is fucking incredible. It pulls you in. I sat there. It's only an hour and 45 minutes, maybe.
Well, it starts off
It's an hour and 45.
You start off in it, and you're like, oh, I'm watching kind of a run of the mill kung fu movie. You got a bunch of different kung fu schools in town. A guy comes into town, beats up some masters.
So dope.
Donnie Yen has to stand up to him.
So cool.
But then it instantly flips and becomes a war movie, and you did not expect for Donnie Yen to become the poverty stricken. He goes from. He has the whole Von Trapp thing where they take his house and it becomes the headquarters for the Japanese and shit.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The story, it jumps around, but does a really good job of keeping you in. Because you do start with those outsiders who come in. Because if you read the Netflix thing, it's Donnie Yen, a master at Wing Chun, right?
Yeah,
What's
Wing
it called?
Chun.
Wing Chun. What's up?
Oh, I was just imitating
He's
Joe.
moving me. I
Oh,
was waiting to
so
get a
like
point
he's the
in.
master of Wing Chun, but then the
Fuck
thing
you.
is like all it says like he doesn't fight until he has to. So I'm thinking the Outsiders is like the big story.
Well, that's like everybody's. There's all these masters, all these schools in town,
Yeah,
but he doesn't have a school, but he's like well known as like the best fighter in town.
yeah. And he has money, supposedly. I'm assuming from some background that you might learn later.
Yeah, I don't know if they ever tell you why he was rich to
Because he
begin
just
with.
says
Probably
at one point, he's like, I never had to worry about this before until now. And you're like, but either way, like the story grabbed me, the action and the fighting, which is a lot of feel like what Marvel wanted to do with a lot of those, like the one shot, like the hallway fights and all those weird
Yeah.
things. Like,
Oh,
it's a lot of
absolutely.
one shot fight scenes.
What was your favorite fight? What was your favorite fight?
So I just want to say, because you
We gotta
touched on it, I really appreciate it
Oh,
though
I
about
have-
the style of filmmaking.
You didn't watch the fucking movie, Joe.
Shut up! I've seen it.
Thing.
Of going from like kind of looking very bright and cheapy in the beginning,
Oh yeah,
like,
to the
beginning,
black and white almost.
to the very like, oh shit's serious now. Like there's the big
Oh,
right.
yeah.
We're in a war movie now. Like,
yeah,
you know.
it's noticeable. You brought it up. I've just been waiting to interject, but TJ was just going off in his joy.
Oh, dude, I have a lot to say. This might be my favorite Flyer movie.
Like the tee shots look cool, but they were very impractical, right? Every time they serve those tee shots, and he would just go.
I have a question.
So
fucking
small. Drink a whole cup of tea.
Just take a
I have a
whole
question.
fucking thing. What
I
the
have
fuck?
I have a Donnie Yen question for Brian.
Sure.
Was this like Donnie Yen's like first big movie in the sense where it was like, oh shit, that's Donnie Yen?
Oh no! This is like 2007. He's already a huge star when they make this.
Oh,
This
okay.
would be
In
like
America too.
But it's
in
the biggest
China. Yeah, he
crossover.
didn't become, but he had already done some work in America. Like this is after he does this
Like-
after Blade 2 and stuff like that. So he
But-
had done some
Oh
things.
shit, that's insane.
But it's technically the biggest crossover of his.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah, I would agree with that. And then like definitely the thing he was probably most known for, and what ended up getting him the roles in like Rogue One and stuff.
Yeah.
Sure.
Can we talk about like I feel like all the fights are amazing. Like there's no fight that you're bored in. But
No.
I always have like a big kinship towards the fight before in the beginning when the master is trying to prove himself and the wife is like super pissed during dinner because he's like,
That's
oh,
just
you
not
wanna come and eat?
He
Yeah.
has the guy sit and eat with them. That guy,
Yeah.
like TJ was talking about how many different characters get a full on story arc. That's Master Lu. He gets a
Yeah.
really like a
And
very
that's-
kind of like
What
deep
the
and
fuck?
tragic story arc.
What
It's
the
my
fuck
favorite
is
fight.
that family gonna do with the blood-soaked breast? What are they gonna do with that fucking blood?
Wait, we can't get into that yet because like we're still talking about the beginning of the movie, and you can't talk about that whole scene without getting into when that fight is the first time you really see what Yip Man can really do. Like his first couple fights, he's like his first fight with Master Lu, he's legitimately taking it easy on him. You know, he's kind of like practicing sparring, but he embarrasses him a little bit.
To say that there's two different styles. Like, remember when those guys show up, the Outsiders? And he's like, "Are you?" Or no, it's the very first master that Outsider's fighting. He's like, "Oh, I want to like practice with you and see how you do." And he's like, "Are you challenging me, or is this a fucking practice?" And he's like, "Well, it's a challenge." And he's like, "Well, now it's a fight. When they make it like a note that when Yip Man and Master Lu like have that first interaction where he's like, I just want to." They call, I don't know if they say play around, like I forget how they mention it. Like,
yeah,
it's like a weird thing, but like that's how you know that because he has like he does his move like, but he just does it in his face.
Well, there's a couple times where he's in Master Lu and he'll even say he's like hit.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
I'm lighting you up. Like I would be destroying you.
And
Here's
also
where I
when-
would be hitting you. Here's where I would be hitting you. You know.
When it finishes, I love when it finishes. He's like, "Thanks for taking it easy on me, Master Lu. Have a great day." Like, you know,
He's so
trying
fucking
to ease his ego.
Yeah,
like,
his
I'm-
ego a little bit. Now, I like TJ was talking about the second fight, and I actually like that character who's like the head of the guy who comes to town with his boys.
Oh yeah, he's a
And
bad.
really, what they want to do is open a school. They just see all these schools that are making money. They're hungry. they know their kung fu's better, and they just really want to like prove themselves. But yes, they go about it in not maybe the best way. But that guy actually comes back and is like a buddy later in the series, so we get to see that dude again.
But if he had not fucked with Yip Man, he would have easily swept that.
Yeah, absolutely. He could have just taken over one of the 5 schools there, and just
was like,
fine.
"Go ahead, go for it." He's like, "I don't give
But
a
even
shit."
in that fight, we see Yip Man. He's taking it easy on him to the point where they're breaking too much stuff, and she sends the kid in to be like, "Your mom says if you don't fight back, she won't have anything left." Like she knows that he's just like playing games and doing his duck and dodge bullshit. She's like, "Finish this."
Yeah. Like,
can we talk about the shitty drawing now? That's a good segue. That's such a shitty fucking drawing.
That kid is a terrible artist.
Yeah. What is that mom encouraging?
Like, I don't know why they're
later
also
in the movie. You see his drawings they've improved barely, slightly. It's supposed to be like 2 or 3 years later, and it's barely even improved.
What else is there to do except for improve on your drawings for all those years?
No wonder he's not paying attention to that shitty kid.
The kid doesn't want to do kung fu. He wants to do shitty drawings.
1942. It's just like,
yeah, and you should be better at drawing because there is nothing else to do.
And then mom just sits there, just staring at the kid the whole time.
I love how the wife is always talking about how she threw a tantrum. It's like barely speaking up is a tantrum.
Yeah.
She'll like stand up and express that she doesn't want her house destroyed by a kung fu fight, and then that is throwing a tantrum.
That house was super cluttered, though. They're clearly
there
hoarders.
was a lot of stuff just sitting around.
I thought when they tell you like they had that whole like middle quarter segment where it tells you how the Japan took over China and stuff like that, and how his house turned into a headquarters. I was waiting for a moment where he just like, Yip Man's out and goes in that house and just like pow, 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 and just takes it back over.
House.
Nothing, none of that, which is fine.
No, you don't get to see him Yip Man out until they kill a couple of his buddies. They
exactly. That's when Jusef asked me what the best fight is I want 10.
Yeah,
I want 10 fight is when this movie fucking unleashed the breaking of the bones and wilding the fuck
He's
out.
Turning people. I mean, there's so many men in that fight who never walked again.
Did you notice? Yeah, but did you notice that in all of Yip Man's group fights, it seems like if you're in the middle of the fight, you're walking away fairly easy. But if you're like the first or the last guy, you're getting the worst. Like the last guy.
You might as well run in because the first guy is just going to put you down with a couple punches. The third guy's getting his leg broke.
Oh yeah.
Dude, he did the knee thing where he like.
I would advise people if you're in a group fight, go first. Just go first. Just get knocked out first, and just stay in the floor.
And then just lay down. Don't get up.
I used to have this like whole thing with like I'll tell my buddies like because you seen like Halloween how like Michael Myers will drown some people sometimes and like shove their head in water and they struggle and then they stop. He lets them go. I'm like struggle for like 15 seconds and then stop.
Just stop.
See what happens. See if he lets you go like a bear.
Just let you go.
Yeah, like just walks away and you go, all right, I'm here.
That sequence when he just starts punching you down into like a Michael Jackson backward bend.
He just beats him to the ground like with a like. I would love to count how many of punches actually hit. There's so many.
We're gonna get.
Yeah, but like, I agree with TJ. Like it's not only the action sequences is great. It's the story. Like you can argue that the translator has a fantastic arc. Like the conflict that he exhibits.
And then the whole bit with Yip Man helping the factory stand up against the Bay. Like that's like its own thing,
I'm glad they kind of went the reverse of that, where I'm like, when they show up that second time and all of them do the stance, I'm like, I swear to God, this entire factory beats the shit out of these guys and be very upset. And like they get a couple shots in, and they start beating the girls and the kids. I'm like, yeah,
right, yeah, real. It was realistic. It's like they showed that they had that they weren't just going to be a doormat, but it was still realistic enough.
And then
to be like,
Donnie Yen comes in and has his moment where he hits the guy in the back of the head and it just does his whole like thing and he beats the dude again. And then Yoon has a great little, back and forth because
when he finds out about his brother and stuff. Yep.
Lynn, man.
Oh, that's a great callback to the kite in the tin.
Yeah,
yeah.
Dude, I cried.
I was gonna say that choked me up. The thing with the kite will choke you up.
This movie already had me, but then it got me again.
Yeah,
like,
Joe, that was your favorite part, right? When the tin.
Joe loves it. His eyes glued to the screen.
I mean, guys, favorite. I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop looking away. I mean, when he hit the clip and the table cracked.
Which is a really cool part in this, which they kind of leave out, is like obviously the women probably took a lot of the heat in this fucking like Japanese-Chinese war that was happening, to where that moment where the traitor Lee brings that fucking side mouth talking piece of shit.
The colonel or whatever, who's like the underling of the general, because the general's one of those classic bad guys who's like evil but with honor. You know, he's got like a code. He's a bad guy, but he's got a code, and then he's got a sniveling underling who's like a Starscream. You know what I'm talking about?
And they have that fucking moment to where like he's like doing the shit with the gun with the kid, and the kid's like, wow, and Donnie Yen jumps in.
He takes those dudes apart in that moment. Like he just puts them away so quick.
Trip over a pot to where she's like, oh, pretty, like, he's about to go rape her, and then Donnie Yen's like, fuck that. And
Instant
shit out of him, dude.
It was an instant fuck you. You're eating stairs.
Eat these metal stairs.
Gun. It's just like glasses smashed, and then the dude just like stomping on his knee till you hear it break. You make
some cracking,
like something tear or break, and you're like, all right, fuck with that guy again. He's in there. You know what I mean?
Like that guy gets to redeem himself a little bit. He was the police chief too, who was all like, you have to, you have to redeem our honor against the other guys.
But I love that the traitor was like, I think we should leave. He's like, no shit. Well, he's like, he just murdered three.
He even takes him in, but even like during the translation moments, you obviously know, which is dope with the storytelling, is the Japanese have no idea what the Chinese is saying, and it's saying back and forth. So like when Donnie Yen just like says certain things, he's like, "Oh no, he's thinking about it," and like.
Well, and I like too. There's a level of respect. There's kind of like an underlying level of respect with the translator guy, where he always tells Donnie Yen exactly what the general is saying, but he doesn't always go the other way. He lies to the general. Like.
So I have a confession to admit. I am realizing while you guys are talking, I actually watched Yip Man 3 a while ago with Mike Tyson in it, and not the first one.
You son of a bitch.
Joe, I've never been more mad at somebody. Like, I get it if you guys don't want to watch my movies, it makes sense.
I do not want to watch it, guys. It is nothing.
But this fucking movie is incredible.
You just fucked up and didn't watch TJ's new favorite movie, man.
I really want to watch sit down and like put my like phone and laptop in a drawer and watch this movie while you hear you guys talking. I had it on, but
you
like
went
I
out
saw
of your way to find a fucking new TV to watch the Zack Snyder Justice League movie.
That's true. He's got you there,
sir. You're acting like we've had like a week to watch this film.
It was on Netflix.
I haven't watched TV.
What are you watching right now?
I call bullshit on that one.
What are you watching right now while we're talking about Yip Man?
Since you guys decided to watch Yip Man at like 9:00 last night, while I was watching The Sound of Metal.
It was 6:30. It was 6:30.
Sorry, 6:30. I watched The Sound of Metal, and then
The Sound of Metal was good. Did you like it?
I loved it. I thought it was excellent.
So good. It's so good.
We'll save that for our Oscar special. We're watching. But anyway, I just wanted. I had all the plans to come home and watch it, and you know what's been going on in my
last
life.
Last fight between Yip Man and the Japanese dude, that was so good, though, right?
Yeah, let's just get into it. Yes, the last fight. Well, and when you get
into
the last fight is where you realize, and this is what I love about the first Yip Man movie more than anything, is that they don't even have a challenge for him. He takes apart the general in the same way he has taken apart everybody in the whole movie. Like, you think, if you're familiar with Kung Fu movies at all, the movie is structured in a way, they've been building up. Now, the general will be a difficult fight. He will win, but it will be a difficult
No,
fight.
yeah, the
Nope.
first half.
I mean, he gets like maybe 1 or 2 hits in on Yip Man, or almost makes him fall off the platform, and then that's it. And the rest of the time is just him taking a fucking brutal beating from Yip Man.
If
it's so good.
If you watched most of Jackie Chan movies, you know that the last fight is gonna be like 5 to 7 minutes of him getting his ass kicked. And then suddenly he figures it out. And it's like, okay, I know your shit. Now I'm gonna fuck you up.
Speaking of that, I can't wait to open my watch my Criterion Police Story.
You have not watched Police Story?
No, we did it for the. I've not with the Criterion DVDs.
Woo, baby, that's so good.
It's going to happen.
2 things. That guy doesn't look Japanese. Say that now. The guy looked as American as a fucking got, maybe with a little Spanish in him. Jusef, back me up.
I'm not here to judge what Japanese people do and don't look like, so I'm not gonna get into that.
Yeah, sure.
We already got canceled for the cartoon.
All right.
So.
Yeah, I mean, this guy was talking about banging baby Miss Piggy earlier, so I guess we could just like whatever.
Out, Brian.
Now it's back in. It's back in now.
God, Jesse Plemons is going to be so upset when he's canceled tomorrow and not know why. And he'll be like, "You were on a podcast talking about the Japanese," and then he'll be like, "I didn't do a podcast."
I gotta go to work. I'm half drunk and I have to work. Let's go into the ratings,
Well, Joe, why don't you rate what you think this movie might be? We'll get you out of the way here.
Thank you. I think this movie might be an 8.4.
I expect you to watch this movie. I expect you to watch this movie.
I will watch it this week, guys.
Homework. You catch up.
I will live tweet it.
Along with our homework for the flyby, you get Yip Man.
It actually goes along perfectly.
It does. It fits very well.
I'll give you my thoughts. Put it this way. I'll give you my thoughts in the first 5 minutes of our flyby.
Now you got crossover. Now you got reasons to cross over and watch our flybys, guys.
So I want to watch it. I will watch it.
We're gonna hold you to it.
First time viewing, Yip Man.
This is going to be a heavy 9.7. Is it a cotton factory they're working in?
Yeah, linen.
Linen, yeah. You know, stolen trucks by Mongolians, whatever those guys are. I don't know what they are.
I don't know if TJ had a handle on what's going on.
Yeah, this is like, I don't know. This is like me and Brian share a lot. You know, we're both heavy dudes with no hair.
Share women.
And we've pulled beautiful wives outside of our league, so we share a lot. But martial arts is like one of those core veins that we share. And Yip Man has been a staple for as long as it's been on Netflix for me. Like, I've watched it so many fucking times.
I want to say I maybe even already had the Blu-ray when it came to Netflix, and I've just been living. Just ever since the first time I saw Yip Man, it's been a part of me.
So fucking good.
You know, I'm a sucker for good Blu-rays, and it's a little expensive, but there's a great complete Yip Man collection 4K Blu-ray crossover.
Is it all 4 movies? There's 4 movies. How many movies are in there?
It's all 4 movies.
How much?
$50. It's a little $50, but it looks beautiful.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
All right, so you know, Donnie Yen.
Maybe I buy that. Maybe I pull one over on you guys before I even see it and take your blind faith. Buy it.
Donnie Yen is up there with Tony Ya and Jackie Chan and Jet Li and Bruce Lee and even the guy from the Raid,
Rob Snyder.
Iko Uwais, yeah.
Iko Uwais, like, it's just, there's such talented martial artists, but also good actors, and that's why Yip Man works, because he's a good actor.
Performance-wise, in all the Yip Man movies, actually.
9.5 shitty drawings out of 10. Good fucking watch again. Brian,
you know, I like I said, thinking about how many times I've sat down to watch this and the structure of it, and talking about the story of it, and then talking about if this is a perfect 10 movie for me, this is a twister. This is as far as accomplishing what it sets out to do in its genre. That's a perfect 10, man. I'll stamp approval.
And I thought Boogie Nights was probably the best movie we've covered on this podcast.
Close. We've got a couple good weeks here. We've been doing really well.
Yeah.
So Joe,
fuck it up.
Get ready. So I'm going to use this real good roulette generator. It has Prime. I put in Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, HBO Max, and Hulu. And I guess I'll add Netflix. I don't know why it's not added to this. And so we'll pick a movie that's on these services.
It's gonna randomly generate a movie for us from these services.
But
Can
did
you give it? Can you rate? Can you do like a star rating or something?
Yeah. I have so there's a few stipulations here. All right, so we're gonna start with genre. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 20. Whoever gets closest to the number I selected is to the genre that I have picked. I picked one genre.
69.
So I want to start. I'll start with the order of we do the show. So
Okay.
Brian.
6.
6. Okay. TJ.
13.
Okay.
11.
All right. So TJ, you pick, and the genre was horror.
Okay. All right.
So I'll click horror. Now, TJ, because of that, you get to pick the scoring that it's going to generate it. Okay. And our options are IMDb scores greater than 5, greater than 6, greater than 7, greater than 8, greater than 9. That's how the scoring works. Whatever.
So technically, they're all the same because if it's greater than 5, it encompasses all those other.
But greater than 9 is going to have those crappy 5 ones in it.
Or no, I'm sorry. I don't know, but whatever. Maybe
greater than 7.
7? Okay.
Nice
so
middle
maybe
of the road. There you go.
All right. And then with the real good score, same thing. Do you want to go with 7 again, or do you want to? I guess they have their own rating system. This website.
Between 7 and 9.
Between 5 and 9. So I think 8. 8. All right. I think it's supposed to be sub, and the thing's not written correctly. Anyway.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm gonna spin the wheel.
Here comes.
We're gonna spin it again. Because unless you guys want to watch
trap.
Unless you guys want to watch the 1933 film, The Testament of Dr. Mamboose, I don't think it'll make for a very good podcast.
Thank you.
Can you add filters for time?
Like for era, like year.
Probably. I didn't see
after the 70s.
I mean, Alien was the next spin.
That's how it seems. I mean, talk about a cheater. That's a so cold classic.
Right. I'm gonna give it a few more spins, but we'll put Alien in the corner if nothing.
It feels good.
Shaun of the Dead. No.
I mean, yeah, but like we're so off brand.
It's too easy.
We're like it's only giving us hits.
I'm gonna give these 5s.
Yeah.
Crank it down.
This is all horror?
I'm just gonna put any score. I'm sorry. I thought this would be fun.
That's me starting this podcast. That's gonna be fun.
I thought this would be fun.
All right, this sounds bad. So I'm gonna something called Stairs. Special Ops Squad Hell's Bastards are sent to infiltrate a civil war to retrieve intel. That's terrible.
We're going to end up with one of those Into the Dark originals on Hulu.
Okay, this actually sounds kind of good, and I think it's foreign. House in the Alley. Until they lose their baby to a miscarriage, a young couple were happily settling into their new life. No.
Yeah, everybody loves their miscarriage horror.
Yeah, I love a good miscarriage movie. That'll be one of my
wife. You know what? This is just fun now. I'm just gonna
get to work, Joe.
You were the one who's The Conjuring. You guys want to be scared out of our fucking minds?
What is happening?
I don't know. I wanted to watch a horror movie. I thought this would be a good way to find one.
The thing about a generator like that is they're only going to give you like the most mainstream stuff. You know what I mean?
I'm
not us with the classics.
I'm not hitting mainstream at all. Full Moon High. You could just edit all this out. What's The Godsend? 1980. What's all these fucking devil movies?
Let's just watch
All right, you know what I will watch?
Event Horizon.
No, you know what we'll watch? I got it. Ty West's House of the Devil, one of my favorites.
Okay, all right.
Don't you hate that movie?
No, I fucking love that movie.
Okay.
Does that work for everyone? Another satanic.
Yeah, I've never seen it. I don't know what it is. So.
Yeah, you're on a roll with devil.
I think I saw it a while back, but I'd be willing to jump back in.
It's a slow.
Who are you, little man?
Is it got our boy Tom Noonan in it?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so.
It's a slow burn.
It's a Tom Noonan, Tom Atkins podcast. We love our Toms.
Go.
We love our Toms on Flyover.
House of the Devil. I love this fucking movie. But it's a slow burn, but it's a great 90-minute horror movie.
Let's go.
I believe.
2009.
It's on Tubi for free also.
Oh, okay, well.
2009. You're correct, sir. But the movie is great.
Where can the people find you, Joe?
You'd find me at Chenega One. I guess now sports are back for me, so they're doing that in movies. But I'm doing a lot more movies recently.
God, I gotta remember to turn off Joe's retweets.
Yeah, being a bully also, just being a fucking meanie.
Yeah, TJ, tell us if you're gonna supposedly release stuff.
Yeah, you guys are on Flyover State of Film YouTube right now. You guys find me at TJ Dex on Twitter. And yeah, you guys will see when episodes drop. I'll let you know. Bitch.
They're coming. Quit your crying.
Ryan.
On Twitter, at Hercules. Just doing my thing. That's it.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Peace.
Jusef, you have to turn it off.
Oh, this is all staying in.
I'm gonna stay. Yeah, I'm just gonna linger.
Everybody talk shit.
I'm gonna.
You gotta work.